Figured it was time for a quick little follow-up video. So, put the door back on. Figured it's time to start doing the fender gaps. This seemed to come out pretty good. Fairly well smoothed out. I wasn't sure if I might have to do any more work to it, so I haven't coated it yet. Ran through the strikers back on. And I forgot to paint or refinish these brackets that go here for the top of the fenders. So dug them out, sandblasted them, just brushed on some epoxy, that's them. And once those are done, I'll get them in place. I got my cage nut in down here. I had to look up how to put that in because I had forgotten. They got some videos on YouTube if anybody else doesn't know and needs to know. But I still have to fix this. That hole that doesn't line up. I'll have to drill these spot welds probably. Reposition this, weld it back on. That's my guess. But my gap up there is a little large currently. I gotta get these fenders back adjusted back how they need to be. As you can see, down here, that is like atrocious. I don't know how I'm gonna bend that out, but this is actually fairly thick right here. But I've gotta bend this down. Might end up having to put some kind of shim or washer inside of this bottom one, I don't know. The front doesn't have the bracket right now. I ordered some, I think they came from Mustangs to Fear or one of them people. They have a little L bracket. You know, nice little thing like that. You know, L bracket. Yeah. Anyways, it's got the bolt hole for the bottom of the fender goes here, and then it's got two screw holes here and here. You bolt it to the fender, get your adjustment how it needs to be, and you put a dot on each of those holes, and you run a screw in. But it screws this little flange underneath here, this right here, on the back side of it. So it allows you to place this where you need it. And you don't have to worry about trying to bend it to get it right, etc. So I have to figure out how to get that bent out. This is still a little bit in. This is a little bit in on the point, and this is a little bit in. So pretty much just this point right here needs to come out. However, this up here is pretty good, other than the gap. Gap here needs to widen, and I need to smooth that out. But I think the door opens now, just barely. Oh, and it's catching on that inner lip. I don't know if you can see that right there. From where I cut this, the inner lip's separating, so just wanting to snag on that. Anyway, same deal over here. Smoothed out. Striker installed. This door, however, was another thing I was fighting. Now I know whenever I welded this quarter on, I had this door adjusted out how I liked it. And it took me a while to get this back in place, and this isn't perfect. But I guess it's satisfactory, because this is off up here, but this is pretty much on point. Not much off, but these points here, slightly off, but close. Still have to adjust the door lift, because I don't have it weighted. Same thing down here, it's down a little bit. So that top section's gonna raise a bit to get these lines on. But down here, this, let me crawl back. Let's see. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. Pokes out a good bit. And it starts like way the hell up here. Now I can't rock the door inward or it throws everything else off. But it's funny because it seems like that's what's needed because it sticks out on the bottom along the rocker too. But if I rock it out, this becomes atrociously high. Like crazy high. And then this is off too. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that. I mean, I'm somewhat regretting that I welded this on ahead of time. But it's what you gotta deal with. I don't feel like taking stuff back off at this point. I'll do what I can to make it look decent, make it look good, and call it done. I'm tired of taking steps backwards. So my housing ends, notice I chopped the ends off. They're cut down the size. And it's covered in paper towel because I started doing the etch prep for the 415. And I kept it wet for 30 minutes and I decided to just leave it on because I'm not ready to paint it yet. I'm not gonna be ready to paint it, I still gotta do welding to it. So I wrapped paper towel in it to keep water or the acid, phosphoric acid, whatever etch stuff, metal etch on it, damp. And it seemed to be doing pretty well. So it had a lot of little pits in it. And it seemed like it was doing a good job of cleaning those up. I figured I'd do it now. I'll do my welding, I'll come back over, spray that stuff on it again, and then I'll wash it off like it's supposed to be done. And hopefully by then we'll have gotten all the pits and stuff taken care of. Ooh, but that is still waiting on my buddy to make me some bearing end cap pieces out of aluminum, and hook me up with a 1.25 inch rod so I can weld the ends. But it's looking like half a car again. One day she'll be back on wheels and driving again. One day. Anyways, that's all I wanted to do is just go over where it's at. Just show that did some Bondo work or some filler work in here and started work on my gaps on the other side. Once I get that side done, I'll move to this side. I figured I'd leave the other door and fender, which is like, you probably won't be able to see it, but it's up somewhere in here. I'll leave that stuff up in the rafters for now because working around one door is enough. All right, guys, I'm tired and hungry. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully my next video will have some more entertainment or a little bit more progress. Till then.